Welcome, everyone. We don't usually do two events in one week, but I made an exception this week because I'm very excited about this book. In fact, I kind of want to knit most of the stuff in it for myself or my daughter-in-law, which doesn't happen too often. And as people who come regularly or listen regularly, I'm just a huge fan of color work. Although we were just discussing this cover project, Alexis, before we started recording. And, I'm really trying to break myself away from, black and gray and navy blue because I think it's because I wore dark suits for 25 years. I have no idea. So, and I love color. So I think this book is going to inspire me to finally, put something bright in my
that's wonderful.
wardrobe. Yeah, because it's so gorgeous. So this is your first visit. So welcome. So and if you do another book, I'm sure you'll come back and visit us again.
I hope I do another book.
Yeah. So because I know unlike most of the authors that we've had on, you actually spend your days doing something else that you actually have a full-time job, but something artistic and kind of cool. So can you tell us what you do during the day when you're not, doing knitting books?
During the day, I work as a textile designer. So I design printed textiles for children's bedding and bath products.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, it's very fun. But when I started going through the book and I didn't know anything about you, I guessed you had a background in the arts because just the use of color and the really bold graphics. Yeah, Candy says that's a really cool job. She's looking for something post-retirement. So, but that would be a fun job. But your background is in the arts. You don't just knit; you do other things too.
Yeah. I went to art school and I studied painting and pottery in art school. And for a while I thought I wanted to be a portrait painter, and I spent a couple years really working on that before I moved to New York. And I moved up here and I just fell in love with the textile industry. And I was already really into sewing, and I started taking classes at FIT at night, after work, and that's kind of how I got into textile design.
Yeah, well, that'd be cool to live someplace where you could take night classes at FIT because you were in something you were interested in. Yeah, I mean, which it only happens in New York. So, but So how did the book come about?
Well, the book came from my blog. I started my knitting blog in 2010 and just started posting my knitting patterns up there, self-publishing at first, and I started working with the Knitpicks Independent Designer Program.
Yeah, which is great.
I loved it. I loved working with them. They were great. And that got the attention of the Knit Scene editor, Lisa Schroyer.
And, she's been a guest here before too.
Oh, I love her. She's great.
Yeah, she is.
She's so great. And she wrote to me after I published my Delancey cardigan on Knitpicks, and she asked me if I had any other designs, maybe the magazine. And so I started doing stuff with the magazine, and with Interweave Knits and Knit Scene, and then a few things with Brooklyn Tweed. And I guess in 2012, I got an email from an acquisitions editor from Interweave, and they said they'd been following my blog and they liked my work, and asked if I'd be interested in writing a book. And so. And
little did you know how that would take your life over for the next couple of years, right?
Yeah, completely took my life over. Yeah. I'm a very understanding husband.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's actually a good thing for all knitters to have a understanding spouse or significant other who doesn't give you a hard time about the fact that yarn is everywhere.
I know. Well, he's got his own hobbies that are
messy.
Yeah, well, he's really into bicycles and guitars, and I'm always giving him.
And they take up a lot of space. That takes up a lot of space, so it works out even. So I think so too.
He says the right number of guitars and bicycles is, n+1.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever you have,
Okay.
plus one.
Plus one. That's great.
No.
So Kate
As long
says
as that applies to yarn too, right?
right, as long as it's good for the goose, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Kate says she's really excited about this book. So I think we probably need to take a look beyond
Okay.
what is just in the on the cover, which I have to I'm really looking forward to knitting this. It just the construction technique on this looks like it's really going to be fun. So tell us about the cover project on this book. It's really stunning.
Oh, thank you. This was actually not part of my original design proposal. I was working along all the designs, I think it was maybe December, like halfway in the middle of my book, working on everything for my book, and I had this idea for this cardigan. I just had to put it in the book, and I like I have to do this right now.
And it ends up on the cover, which
Yeah,
is really
yeah.
which is really really crazy. So now it looks like it almost has like a yoke where it forms the collar. I'm mistaken? It looks like picked up and knit up or something. What is going on there?
Basically 3 strips of kind of diagonally knit fabric that you knit in stripes, and since it's diagonal knit, you get that diagonal line. And the top two are kind of like just flat. The top two, or sorry, the bottom and the top strips are just flat, and then the middle strip has like kind of a raglan style sleeve cap worked into it.
Oh wow.
You work the sleeve from the top down, and then you sew the 3 strips together at the end and pick up all around and do the edging.
Yeah,
Does that
really
make
cool.
sense?
It does. It does.
Okay.
And Kate has a question. She said she saw it closed in another photo, and she said, "How do you do that? Do you just tuck it?"
Well, in
Close it.
that cardigan, I put a little button in the back right here, and I put a hidden button loop in the bottom of the cardigan, so
Like
you
down
can
here in this
loop
corner
it.
down here?
Well, the part that's kind of on her belly button.
Okay.
There's a little hidden button loop that you crochet,
Oh, it's
and
like
you
right
pull
here.
that to the inside. And close it that
Wow.
way.
Yeah, very cool. Kate says that's smart. I agree. Smart, smart, smart. And really just gorgeous. So let's see what else is in the book. What I loved about this is, I never really thought about because I'm so in love with color work, but you do mostly stranded work, and
Hmm.
I didn't really think about the fact that when you can do color work where the knitting is actually all one color, and that the color is what's underneath it. This is really, really pretty, and kind of all weather, depending on what you put underneath it. Tell us about this design.
This was the very first one that I worked on for the book. And it was kind of hot. Like, I'm going to do, it was like August. Like, I'm
August
gonna
in New
do
York.
summer
Yeah.
life. Yeah. Yeah, so this one is actually a one-piece construction. It's knitted in like one long piece that folds over at the shoulder, and there's a seam that runs down the side.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
and short rows kind of form the sleeve or the top of the shoulder. It's to give it like a kind of a nice fit. Yeah, it's really fun to knit eyelet lacy pattern because you can remember it. It's easy to memorize, but it's broken up enough to where it doesn't get monotonous.
Yeah, and it looks like it's kind of a short repeat from right to left, so you don't have to pay too much attention as you're going.
Yeah.
Although use those lifelines, knitters, you know what I mean. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
use the lifelines, and if you don't know what a lifeline is, go look up my video on YouTube, and lifelines will actually change your life, change your knitting
Oh
life.
man, lifelines. Whenever I learned that was like a revelation.
It was
I'm
for
like,
me
I can knit
too.
these.
It was for me too. And color work, if you
Yeah.
accidentally strand a little tight, it can ruin an entire garment. So,
Yeah.
like one little spot. So, yeah, definitely put those lifelines in. And yes, Joanna says, if you don't, you'll be sorry. Which I agree. So, Savannah Gal says she likes that tie at the hip. It makes it look like, well, of course, this model is long and slender, but it does give the impression of a longer slender torso. It's just like that little touch.
You can't see because her hand is covering, but I had a little split at the bottom because there's a side seam. You can have it split, so it makes it a little bit easier to wear if it falls a little bit lower on your hip.
Oh, it's a little more forgiving there.
hmm
Yeah, which is a good thing. So who taught you how to knit?
I taught myself how to knit.
Well, how long have you
I
been knitting?
I started knitting when I was about 16 years old.
Which was like what, a year and a half ago?
Hi, I'm 12 years old. It's a book. No, I'm 31, in case you're wondering. You know,
Yeah.
you are
So you've been knitting
but
a little while then.
just a little while. Yeah, I taught myself how to knit off the internet, so I just
Oh my gosh.
searched in how to knit.
And I'll say,
That's how I learned.
I think the internet and YouTube have really opened the world of knitting to so many people who don't live near places where they can take great classes because
Yeah.
it's right in your living room. Oh, Trisha says you're gorgeous, by the way.
Oh,
So
thank you.
thought I'd pass that one on. So Kate and Savannah Gal are both talking about the sweater and said it's those little touches that make for a nice garment. I mean, if you saw somebody wearing this, you would not think this was a home knit project. I mean, it's just beautiful.
When I finished this sample, I was so excited to wear it to work the next day. Like, I have to wear this one.
Oh, how funny. So,
Yeah.
yes. So do you get your samples back eventually after they make the rounds of the trunk shows?
Yeah, eventually.
Oh, how nice. You'll get to wear all these, which is great. So, yeah. And Joanna says the YouTube is great too if you get stuck at midnight, which I know, and just like
Oh,
something's in a
yeah.
pattern you've never heard of before. So, or you can't remember how to do Kitchener stitch, which I always have to watch a video on that. Always. I never remember. So, let's see what other gorgeous things are in here. I just love this kind of tweedy texture that you've created here in this cardigan. So tell us about this design.
Oh, I love this one. I'm wearing another one right
Oh,
now.
yes, you are in another colorway. Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I was. This was the first one. Like after I finished my book, I'm like, I'm gonna make something just for me that I can wear, that I have to put in a box and send off somewhere.
Yeah, after all that
Um,
knitting, right?
yeah, I was excited to knit this one actually. It's worked from the top down in the Cascade Eco Wool.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
kind of like a bulky yarn. In the pattern they call it worsted, I think, but it's kind of somewhere in between. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
The
like a
tech
heavy
editor changed
worsted
it
kind of
to
thing.
to worsted, which I questioned, but whatever. I guess it's at a worsted gauge. And this patterned, this tweedy effect is from a slipped stitch pattern. So you like knit one, slip one with the yarn in front, and it gives it this sort of like woven, kind of like a plaid, where it's
The colors
interwoven.
interweave. Yeah.
And it's fun to do, and it's a fast project actually.
And it's no stranding. So you get that
That's right.
look. That's the nice thing about slip stitch. You
hmm
get that look without actually having to strand anything, which is
Yeah, and
great.
the fabric isn't as bulky,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah. Doing stranded color work in a bulky weight yarn is, I mean, the fabric will be a half an inch thick when you're done. So
Yeah.
it's really not recommended unless that's what you're going for. If you need polar weight
Yeah.
knitwear. So yeah. And Kenny says
Maybe.
it could happen. Yeah. I mean, if I lived in Alaska, I might do this and, redo the math in this and do it in bulky weight, but I don't. So,
Well, I wear my cardigan every single day, so it's very a wearable design. I love it.
yeah. Do you keep it at work
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
How
Keep it on
fun.
my chair.
So yeah, and Candy says slip stitch is fun to do, which I agree, and it's so fast too, which is the cool thing. And Patricia loves the color combo on the one you're wearing. Did you knit it in the same fiber, or did you pick some?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the same. This is a cream or natural. I can't remember if it was natural or cream. And then the same platinum twist color. I just had some extra from the sample, so
yeah,
I used that.
yeah. It looks really pretty with that cream background, which people who come back and watch this later won't see, but it's
Yeah.
done with the same kind of oatmeal-y color. as the contrast, but the rest of the sweater is cream and it's really beautiful that way too. So really nice. So yeah, and Patricia says she loves the color combo on the one you're wearing. Very pretty. This one just instantly drew me because this actually would match my I'm up in my cabin now in case for you can see behind me, but this actually is like the color palette in my cabin here, and I thought, oh, I could wear this, sit on my couch, and I would match everything. So especially since I have Killam pillows, and it's kind of it has that vibe to it. So
it's like the designer's lifestyle, right? You got to color coordinate your outfit to your couch.
Exactly. Oh my God, how scary! How scary is that? But I'm claustrophobic, so I never wear anything up really close to my neck, and so I love the scoop neckline on this. I think this sweater was designed for me actually. So
you have to knit it.
And now I have to knit it. I know. I mean I would look great on my couch in this sweater. So I'm kind of forced. So tell us about this sweater.
I was probably most excited about this design. I know I probably said that about the trilogy cardigan too, but I really love it.
You're okay. It's okay. You can be excited about all of them. They're yours.
Yeah. So this one has an interesting construction. It's top-down, seamless, with the set-in simultaneous sleeve.
Oh my gosh.
And it just kind of comes together all in one piece. When you get down to the color work, it's like, oh my gosh, I have like half a sweater done. And the stripes, it makes the stripes match up really nicely, and you don't have to worry about setting in a sleeve. It's kind of like fail-proof in that way. As long as you keep your increases, keep track of your increases, you'll be fine. So it's really fun to knit.
Well, that would give me something to look forward to. So, so let's see. Kate wants to know, did you make all of your own color choices or did the yarn editor pick them for you?
I made all my own color choices. I didn't get a lot of help for yarn or color from Interweave. I was really into doing that myself.
Oh, nice, because not everybody gets that freedom. So, yeah, that's wonderful. So, so I think people would be disappointed if I didn't ask if somebody was going to knit this sweater for me as a Christmas gift. Yeah, I'm still waiting. That never works. No one ever it never works. I pick things out and I say, yeah, Candy says, I told you so. She's going to ask. But yeah, it hasn't worked for me at all. And all these years, nobody has ever actually taken me up on that. So let's talk about this kind of semi-circular. Really, this is so plush looking. What did you knit this in?
This is the Osterman merino lace, which is a really interesting yarn. It's got this beautiful ombre, obviously, which is kind of like the inspiration for this design. I wanted to do like a beautiful ombre yarn and a special pattern just to showcase that. And I wish that they had the back view from here because you can see it's really pretty. This yarn is, I think, listed as a worsted, but it is like thin and really fuzzy, so it's sort of see-through whenever you knit it at a worsted weight. It's very lightweight and flowy. I really recommend using this yarn for this pattern, not substituting if you can.
Well, and especially when you get a special texture from it, you can't just do it as you please. And somebody said, oh, who was this? Joanna was just saying, I would love to see the back. You know how you're going to see the back? You're either going to win a book today here during this event, or you're going to win, because we're doing one on Facebook, which we'll talk about when we get to that point. And but if you don't, then you just got to either call your yarn shop and buy it, or come to PlanetPurl and purchase it from Amazon and help us out a little bit.
Yeah, so PlanetPurl.
Exactly. So yeah, so it's but this is one of the pick your fave on our Facebook page right now, and people are just crazy for this book, crazy for this pattern. People are just going nuts. So and Candy said this book is actually available on Kindle as well, which is nice. Yeah, so yeah, it's available on Kindle, and I'm lucky that I get my advanced copies from Interweave on PDF, so I can keep them on my iPad forever as well. And So this is really pretty. Is this stranded?
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
stranded.
this is stranded. So tell us about these mitts and this really cute beanie.
This is an example of something I really love to do is make these geometric color work charts. It's one of my very favorite things in knitting is making these. And this is one of the first ones I put in my proposal. Um, I don't know, they're really cute.
Yeah, I love the
Really
color
fun to make.
combination too. It's very fresh and modern.
Hmm.
Yeah, it wouldn't look bad in my cabin either. But yeah, and Savannah Gal says it's very pretty and she loves the colors. And I think that's what really makes this so beautiful is that deep teal with that really fresh
Hmm.
lime is so pretty.
Yeah, the what did I use for this? Barocco Ultra Alpaca Light. They
Ooh,
had some really, really pretty colors. A
and it's a
lot of
really
times,
crazy soft yarn.
yeah. Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Just a real pleasure to work with.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree. That's having nice yarn in your fingers really is I don't know
yeah.
how people knit with scratchy stuff. It's just oh, so much fun. I actually bought yak down yarn to make my husband a sweater, and I
Oh,
can't wait to knit it because I mean
I haven't.
it's the crazy softest thing I've ever touched. I think it's softer than cashmere.
I have to
But
track some of that down.
yeah, and it's just, and that's the thing is I think, that especially if you do something like this for a gift, which I think is, timely, given that
Hmm.
the holidays are not that far away,
Yeah.
which is hard to believe, but the is that to be able to spend the time creating that gift, which obviously there's love in every stitch, which is really nice, but to actually enjoy that process is really I think is really important too. So this is
Hmm.
beautiful, and that ultra alpaca from Barocco is
Ooh,
crazy soft, crazy
yeah.
soft. Yeah, I love it. So this is also one of the patterns, this color black sweater
Hmm.
that is up on Facebook, and this looks like something you would live in on the
Yeah.
weekend, right? Or if you were not feeling well, you'd pull it on. I mean, it's like a comfort sweater. It's
Yeah.
so pretty, and the color on this is gorgeous. Tell us about this design.
Well, I wanted to include a sweater kind of like that, just like you described, in my book. And also, I thought this was a good opportunity to kind of mix up the skill levels in my book. I wanted my book to be approachable to all different kinds of knitters,
Yeah.
people that want to do the crazy color work, like the rook pullover, or maybe they just want to knit something in worsted, seamless, circular.
Lots of
Um,
stockinette, just
yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not afraid of a lot of stockinette. Obviously, if you look in my book, I love it. I
Yeah.
mean, I can you can use stripes to express yourself pretty well, I think.
Yes. But
But this was I thought a lot about where I put that color block section. I actually
mhm.
knitted it, and it was a little bit higher, and it kind of looked, I don't know, frumpy. I thought a lot about it, and I like did a lot of drawings, and um, it's at a nice spot there.
Yeah, it is. It's really yeah.
Hey,
Thank
puppy.
you, my watchdog. She just woke up and realized that we were home. Um, so and the yarn looks almost like chenille in this picture. It looks really soft. What did you knit this in?
This, what was this? Sorry, I have a list. Hang on. I should remember all of these, shouldn't I?
No, not necessarily. No, you did a lot
There's
of
so many.
these,
There's like
so
20.
yeah. Nobody expects you to remember those,
Oh, it's
but
Barocco vintage.
oh, that's a really nice washable wool.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Yeah.
pretty, and the colors are
Another
just
thing that makes
gorgeous.
it sort of like an everyday wearable cardigan is what it's made out of. You can wash this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and you won't
like,
cry if you might cry if you spill something that stains on it, but you won't, I mean, it's it's not you won't be afraid to wear it or
mhm.
afraid to like hold the dog while you're wearing it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, one
yeah.
more thing about this is it's reversible. It's the same on the front and the back. And I kind of like did something with the ribbing
Y-
in the collar.
Yeah.
So there'd be like a very nice transition if the back shows. That's just something else that
Uh,
makes it more of like a beginner kind of sweater knitter
yeah,
thing.
so you don't have to pay that close attention to whether you're which side you're working on.
Hmm.
Plus, if you happen to get a little something on the front, you can always turn it around and wear the other side.
You have a
So,
great way of looking at things, Beth.
well, it's what's really tough is when you spill something on something you just really love and you just wear to death, and then it's on the front, everybody's going to see it. If it's on the back, who cares, right?
Yeah,
You just
there you go.
always sit with your back against the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one will ever know it's there, and you just back out of the room. But yeah, this just really, yeah. And Joanna says it looks comfy, and she loves the color, and I think that plum is so, it's plum color is just gorgeous. It's kind of it's kind of making me think that might be one of my colors for the cover project when I do it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just really, I don't know, it's yummy. It's just very yummy. Savannah Gal says, yeah, it's very rich looking. So
Yeah, I love doing like really rich, deep color with kind of a heather neutral. It's one of
yeah,
my favorite color combinations.
yeah, and that pale gray with it just really makes
Hmm.
that plum color just pop out. So, and this tie cardigan, this is just the striping on this is so much fun, and it's just, I mean, it's elegant and it's modern and it's fun all at the same time. Tell us about this design.
This design is, I mean, it's all about the asymmetrical stripes,
Yeah.
obviously. If you look at the back, there's a seam right down the middle where the stripes sort of like alternate like that.
Yeah.
And, I just like the wrap sort of like accentuates that.
Yeah. And it's just, and it makes for a comfortable, almost bathrobe kind of sweater, though, with a little
Yeah.
better fitted, a
Hmm.
lot better fitted. But and you did the gold that's for the tie. Is this like an I-cord bind off all the way around it? It's kind of what it looks like.
It's actually picked up all the way around and worked in reverse stockinette, and
Oh,
then you fold it back and just kind of tack it down all the way around.
yeah. So it's like a edging on it.
Hmm.
It's really pretty. And so, yeah, Candy says she absolutely loves this, and she wants to know, is it buttoned on the inside?
No, but you could do a button on the inside. It's got a tiny little buttonhole on the in between one of the stripes, and the tie goes all the way around through
And
that.
pulls through it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess on the inside corner there, if you wanted to,
Uh,
you could put a little hook or something that if you wanted
Absolutely.
it
You
to
could
feel like
also
it's
put a
more
little
surprise.
snap
Yeah.
just at the bust. This model is really skinny. I was a little bit upset with how skinny this model is because it looks great on a lady with curves. I have a lot of shaping in there, in the pattern, and I don't know. I was a little upset when I saw how skinny this model was, but you go with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, there's you got to give a little, I guess. So, and yeah, and Patricia says this is great for someone who does not want a big stripe going around their body, which I agree. This
Hmm.
kind of skinny stripes that are staggered, because they tell people who aren't the shape of this model, oh, you never wear horizontal stripes. And this just shows, well, it depends on what those horizontal stripes look like.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
yeah, so this gives you a lot of that visual interest without giving you that big, chunky stripe look. So, yeah, very good point, Patricia. Yeah, and you were talking about how skinny the model was, and Kenny's like, "Yep, I'm not." Well, I mean, almost nobody's this skinny unless
No,
they're,
yeah.
they're a model. So, Burns says this is beautiful, simple lines. It's just perfect. It's just really beautiful. Now, is this knit? Oh, this is knit from the back and out. Is that how this is knit?
It's knit. The body is knit in two pieces from the bottom up, and there's a shoulder seam on the back just right here, and then you pick up stitches around the sleeve cap,
Oh,
and you work down in short rows, so back and forth.
yeah.
So that it becomes circular sleeves from the top down.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It does. It absolutely makes sense. So, yeah, so pretty. So, yeah, and then I think this was the picture that we talked about where there was the hook and the button
Hmm.
show, or so that it basically it completely changes the look of the sweater. So pretty. I'd forgotten I put this in here. I think somebody asked about that earlier. So there it is. So, and this, I think is maybe, yeah, Joanna says that really changes the look and she loves it. This may be the most fun use of stripes, such as they are, that I've ever seen. It's just so cute. And I love these colors. They're just so pretty. And yeah, Candy says, ooh la la, nice. So Joanna says, this is really cool. I agree. Tell us about this really like walking work of art this girl is wearing.
Well, it's like almost a lot of my sweaters, it's top down and circular. So you cast on around the neck, work down, and then you work a series of short rows to make these stripes. And they sort of balance each other out by the time you get down to the sleeves. And it's worked on with this really cool Kodiak yarn from Barocco.
Yeah, I don't know that, but it looks like almost like it has a little bit of halo.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's so soft. I mean, I haven't felt that yak yarn yet, but this is pretty good, right? This is up there.
Pretty soft. Yeah, so yeah, and Tricia had asked about the yarn. Yeah.
And airy, but which makes it like a bulky texture, but it's very lightweight. You could use a bulky yarn and it would be heavier, and I think that would look fine. I think that'd look really cool. But this, I love the texture of this yarn for this particular sweater.
Yeah, it looks like the kind of sweater that people are going to want to like touch you when you're wearing it, which is okay in some places, but maybe not in maybe other cities, like on the subway in New York or something.
Yeah,
right? When strangers touching you, but up here in the mountains, it wouldn't be like a weird sexual thing.
Can you imagine somebody just coming up and
touching you? Actually, I can, and it really depends on the person and whether they've snuck up on you from behind or whether they've approached you, carefully from the front. I think it makes a difference. And where they touch you makes a difference too. But yeah, this is, and so the change of the shape of these stripes is all part of the short row shaping on the sweater, which is very cool. Yeah, and Savannah Gal says this is really pretty. I agree. And I would knit it in just those colors. Yeah. So, well, very cool. I'm so excited that you gave us a personal and private tour of your book because it's really gorgeous. And I wouldn't.
My pleasure.
And just all the clever shaping details and stuff. It's very cool. So I know people are going to want to keep up with you. Yeah, Kate says thank you. I agree. So I know people are going to want to keep up with you. So if you go to alexiswinslow.com, you can it'll take you either to knitdarling.com, which is her knitting website, or alexiswinslow.com, which is the painting website where you can see, it actually gives you a really good idea of where where Alexis's like graphic and the color choices, and you can kind of see from whence you come in terms of your art background. So that is really cool to look at. And then knitdarling.com, which you can tell as soon as you go to it that it is Alexis's, because here's the back of that gorgeous wrap that's on the front cover of this book, which is, I know this just really, it's so crazy. I can't wait to knit this. I mean, I love interesting, techniques or stitching or something. And this is just the way these are all put together. It's just crazy. So you can keep track. And Savannah Gal says, yeah, it's cool the way the colors meet in the middle, which I agree. I can't wait to knit that. So, and then you can also, if you want to see what else Alexis has been doing, of course, she has a lot of patterns that predate this gorgeous book. And so you can go to her. She has a designer page on Ravelry, if you're on Ravelry, and you can check out all the other stuff and see all the other patterns in this book too. So, but you can see what else is, some crazy stuff in here. There's some really, I mean, there's just Yeah, it makes me want to knit everything. So,
Yay.
so much yarn, so little time, it's like,
Yeah, I know, right?
exactly. So, well, and if you saw my stash, you would say so much yarn. Yeah. I have achieved this stash accumulation beyond life expectancy status, but what can I say? I can't turn down yarn. And then of course on Facebook, you can check out Knit Darling on Facebook. And yeah, Savannah says, "Haven't we all?" I agree. So sorry, Savannah. It's a sickness, but nobody wants to be cured, which is like the crazy thing, right? Nobody wants to be cured. So you can check out Facebook/Knit Darling, and you'll see you'll can keep up with what's going on there, and then of course, because Alexis is young and there is way too many places you can find her on social media, that you could follow her on, where am I? Twitter. And
Sure.
yeah, twitter.com, and it's /Alexis Winslow, oddly enough. And you can see that she was getting ready for her interview on Planet Pearl not too long ago.
Yeah, just a few hours ago.
Just a few hours ago. Exactly. So, and then also there is an Etsy shop where you can purchase patterns from Alexis, and you can see all these designs that she has. And yeah, that Delancey cardigan is really something fine too. As you can tell, I like stripes and graphic design. So, which is a good thing. This book is basically written for me. And then you can also check out Alexis Winslow on Instagram. And
I'm really active on Instagram, so if you're on Instagram, I would love if we followed each other.
There you go. And then you can, and I see Mr. Guitar Collector in here as well. So you can also watch work in progress, right? So, which is nice on Instagram. So you see what's coming up next. And then on Pinterest, I love Pinterest. I love to follow designers on Pinterest because it's interesting for me to see what inspires them. So there, you can follow Alexis on Pinterest as well. So if you don't win a book today, and you know to stick around when we finish recording, because I'll give away a book. And if you don't, and you go to Facebook, of course, /PlanetPurl, which is actually right here, and you can.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I've learned that otherwise the winners people don't look at those and figure out they might have won something. So you'll see that we have a giveaway that you can. And there was something weird happened on Facebook. This was actually supposed to be 6 pictures, and I don't know who Debbie Clark and Natalie Labinka Canfield are, but they ended up with me when I posted this, which is weird.
Okay.
Yeah, they glitched. I have no idea what that is, but you can vote for your favorite and then be entered in for a random drawing and win a copy that way. So you got 2 chances. So if you don't win either one, then, which is very sad, by the way, you can call your local yarn store and see if they carry it, which they should be. And if they don't, then you come to Planet Pearl and you click on books. And when you click on books, you will see Graphic Knits by Alexis Winslow, which if you click on this, you'll see there's a little link here. Buy the book through Amazon, support Planet Pearl. You just click on that link and go buy the book. So there are so many beautiful sweaters in here, and it's going to be like the Lay's potato chip ads. I dare you to knit just one. So they're just so pretty, and it's so nice, to see a book where, it's not just one pattern that speaks to you, but it's like, what am I going to knit first, which doesn't happen a lot. So it's just really, really gorgeous, and thank you so much for doing it, especially for those of us who love color work and want to knit other people's patterns, because it's way more relaxing than writing them yourself. And way more relaxing. Thanks for, as I say, doing the math for us, which is always great. And so now you've knit all these great sweaters, which obviously you're going to at some point get them back. But do you knit holiday gifts? We're getting to that point in the year. Do you knit holiday gifts? Do people expect them? I mean, they see this. Do they expect hand knit gifts for the holidays?
Oh, I don't know. They don't. I did knit some last year for Christmas, though, for my dad and for my sister-in-law. Special requests.
Yeah. So, is anybody knitting anything for you for the holidays? Since we've already established nobody in this room is knitting anything for me. But is
Oh.
anybody? I know, isn't that sad? And nobody in my family knits, so
Oh.
so nobody will be knitting me anything. Although I have knit all my Christmas gifts already for this year. But have you? Is there anybody knitting something for you?
I hope so. Nobody's ever really knit me anything. What's up with
Oh,
that?
yeah. What is up with that? I don't know. I don't know what that is, but everybody wants a knit gift, but nobody wants to knit one
I've been
back.
knitting for 15 years. Come on, people.
Oh, yeah. That's just really sad. I've been knitting for 7 and I still nobody's knit me anything, but I guess I have nothing to look forward to now.
Oh.
Oh, this
We
is
should
very
knit each other
sad.
something.
We should, just because nobody else
Yeah.
is knitting us anything, right? I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So how funny. So, Alexis, it's really been just such a pleasure to have you here. I wish you the best with this book because
Oh,
it's
thank you.
really, really gorgeous. It deserves to be on every knitter's shelf.
Oh.
So run out and buy this book. Do yourself a favor. So this will give you something to do on those cold winter nights when
Yes.
it's you have a nice soft yarn in your hands and a beautiful sweater to show for it. So it's really great. Patricia says thanks for all these great patterns. It's
Oh, thanks,
yeah,
Patricia.
it's such a gift to knitters to do a book. So I really believe that. So thank you so much for being here, Alexis. If
Thanks,
you
Beth.
ever get crazy and decide to do a second book, on top
I
of
quit my
working,
day job
I
first.
quit. Yeah, you got to quit your day job first. So, but if you ever get crazy and do another book, so please come back and visit us because we would love to chat with you again. It was a
Okay, promise.
pleasure. Yeah, Kate says please second
Yay.
book. So, yeah, so lots of love in the room. But thanks so much, everybody. Stick around because you know what happens next. I'm going to give away a book. So I'll be right back.